What's good, beautiful people all over the world? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and I appreciate you guys for locking in so much, man. The show is continuing to grow, and you guys have just been loyal. That's pretty much all I can really say about it. So much to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. So much to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. So much to discuss when it comes to the full NFL and NBA landscape. And, I absolutely love the drama that sports come with. I love the lifestyle it comes with. I love everything that's required of you when you're an athlete, when you're involved in the game in any kind of way, when you're a part of media. I love everything about it because, these athletes, they give you so much to discuss, good and bad. And sometimes we can take the athlete for granted. Sometimes we believe that they're perfect people. Sometimes we believe that they don't breathe, eat, sleep, or do everything else that their average person does. And we have to constantly remind ourselves that, look, these guys are people too, regular at that. I had the pleasure of going to the Maxwell Awards over the weekend, Friday, as a matter of fact, that just passed. And, I was working it. And I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of people in media, a lot of people that were former athletes, current athletes, going into the NFL, playing in the NFL right now. And the constant theme, the constant thread in between all of my interactions with these people was that they were regular like me. They had fears and aspirations and goals just like me. And we forget that all the time. Doing this sports media thing that I'm doing right now, and I love it to the fullest. I'm going all in. Like I told you guys, I'm here to stay. It's gonna take a long time it's gonna take you an arm and a leg and maybe some teeth to get me out of this thing. But the more I do this, the more I try to approach it with a responsibility that I owe to you guys and that I also owe to the athletes that I talk about. And I've never played, organized sports really. I mean, I've always played recreationally. You know what I mean? I've always been the intellectual. I've always been the into my books and what I'm saying, the socializer. You know what I mean? But I've never necessarily played on a high school basketball team, or a high school football team. Nah, never done none of that. But I've always played recreationally, just for fun. But I've always loved the game. I've always loved everything that came with it. I love the family nature that's exemplified on the field and on the court. And I feel that sometimes we can take it for granted as fans. There's so much passion that's required to be a pro athlete. There's so much passion that's required to be in this sports media game. There's so much that comes with it. You constantly put yourself under scrutiny, and sometimes it's well deserved. Sometimes it's unfair, but it's a part of the game. It's the life we lead. It's the thing we sign up for. And this goes for any profession, really. When you put yourself in a certain vein, when you put yourself in a certain profession, you have to accept all things that come with that. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant. It doesn't matter if you're a construction worker. It doesn't matter if you're a waitress or a waiter. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher. It doesn't matter if you're a truck driver. Everything that comes with your role, you have to accept it, good and bad. You have to accept the responsibility that comes with it, the repercussions, the consequences. And I approach this game, I approach this sports media thing with so much tact. I try my hardest to give both sides of the coin. I try my hardest to explain why I feel a certain way and stand with conviction in how I feel. So you guys have truly truly made this a hell of a journey. And I'm going to keep going because I love this and I love you guys. You know, you guys are truly interesting people because what I'm learning through reading a lot of the comments is that a lot of you guys really know a lot about the games, basketball and football respectively. You guys are very locked in. You guys watch film. You guys watch the highlights. You guys stay locked in on the box scores and the play-by-plays. You guys know the news. You guys know the news about your local teams better than some of these, mainstream guys, some of these beat writers. You guys are so locked in. You guys are so honed in. And I feel like the fans, especially the Philadelphia fans, don't get enough credit. We get a lot of hell. Philadelphia fans get a lot of hell for approaching the game the way we do. For approaching sports the way we do. Because we bleed it, we live it, we feed off of it, we thrive on it. So if some people that aren't from here don't get the passion that we come from, don't understand the lifestyle, the grit that's required to not only live in the city, but to play in the city, to hell with them, right? Because if you don't want to understand, you ain't never going to understand. What's understood don't got to be explained. But enough of me being on my soapbox, you guys. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's start there, and then we're going to get into some Eagles talk. But the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Miami Heat last night, 113-106. Now, this was an interesting game because James Harden and Joel Embiid weren't involved in any way. Those guys were resting. Obviously James Harden resting a hamstring. Joel Embiid probably just needed some rest. He's been going hard lately. And the last thing we need is for those guys to sustain significant injuries, especially if we're going to make a deep playoff run, right? But they beat the Heat 113-106. And I got to be honest, Tyrese Maxey is built for it. Tyrese Maxey is built for the moment. I'm watching that game. I'm keeping up with the game, right? Because, I'm sitting there with wifey, and me and wifey have a show that we watch. Me and wifey watch Married at First Sight. That's a show that we get into. Listen, laugh at me all you want, but I love Married at First Sight. I watch it all the time with my wife, and I'm going back and forth between the game. I'm going back and forth between the play-by-play because it was Married at First Sight night. Actually, every night is damn near Married at First Sight night. But I digress. Tyrese Maxey, man, he took over that fourth quarter, most notably the final few minutes of the fourth quarter. Because let's be honest about this. It was a back and forth game for the better part of that game. The Sixers went into the second quarter down by 6. Then they went into halftime up by 1. And that second half was nip and tuck, back and forth, give and take. The Heat was giving us everything that we can handle. But the Sixers defense really came alive at key points. And the bench guys, I got to give those guys credit where credit is due. The bench guys came through. Guys like Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz, Georges Niang. I wish Tobias Harris would have had a larger output of points. I wish Tobias Harris would have had a larger impact. But overall, it was a very interesting game to watch because we need to see can the Sixers beat a top contender in the East? And on top of that, we did it without our two best players in James Harden and Joel Embiid. That's a lot of scoring and playmaking that you're missing, meaning that a lot of guys have to step up and pick up the slack. I'm watching this game, and it made me realize that there's talent on this Sixers team, even outside of the starting lineup. The problem is a lot of these guys get caught up in the old, paralysis by analysis. They get caught ball watching. I feel like a lot of these guys tend to defer when they have an opportunity to score because of who they're playing with, being James Harden and Joel Embiid. Now, obviously, you want to feed your star players, but if you have an opportunity to score, you take it. And that's what I saw last night. I saw guys feeding off their opportunities. I saw guys being aggressive. I saw guys not afraid of the moment. And look, the Heat were essentially at full strength, minus Victor Oladipo. They've been missing Oladipo for a while, so I consider them to be at full strength. But nonetheless, they were missing Victor Oladipo. I think he had back soreness or something, some kind of soreness. He's still in recovery. They have him on a minutes for sure. But the Sixers took care of business without their starting guys, without their leaders, and took out the Miami Heat while Jimmy Butler was on the court, while Duncan Robinson was on the court, while P.J. Tucker was on the court, Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? So Kyle Lowry, can't forget him as well. So this is a huge win for this team because the last time we played them, we lost. Rather, it was an ugly loss at that. And I know you guys saw it. I know you guys watching that game, you saw a certain confidence that certain guys were playing with. Shake Milton gave you 20 points off the bench. Korkmaz gave you 18. If that can become a regular thing, if guys like Shake and Furkan can at least give you 10 to 15 points off the bench, this team can be very dangerous. The problem with this team is we tend to rely too much on Joel Embiid and James Harden to bail us out. Guys like Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, they need to be assertive. They need to take advantage of the matchup. If you got the guy beat, take it. Don't keep looking James Harden's direction. Don't keep looking Joel Embiid's direction. If you got the opportunity, take it. Because this team is more dangerous when everyone is liable to score. When everyone on the court can put the ball in the hoop, then the opponent has no choice but to respect everyone. Tyrese Maxey showed last night how clutch he can be. Because let's be honest, freaking Korkmaz shot that huge three. I think that put us ahead by like 1 or 2 points, something like that. And the Heat were battling. They're a very physical team, a very tough team. Let's give credit where credit is due. Jimmy Butler dropped like 27 points, I think, something like that, 27 to 29 points. And they're a tough team. They're coached very well, and they have a certain swagger. They have a certain juice they play with. And you have to acknowledge it. They're going to grind it out. They don't have any guys that can regularly give you 30, but they're going to grind you to pieces if you don't take advantage of your opportunities. And these Sixers took care of business and took advantage of the opportunity. Like I said, Furkan Korkmaz needed this game. Shake Milton needed this game. Tyrese Maxey needed this game. Because, as of late, we've kind of been wondering why has Tyrese Maxey sort of taken a back seat as of late. Like I said, this team is so much more dangerous. The offense is so much more potent when you have guys who can all put the ball in the hoop and they're not afraid. Everyone needs to become a threat. Everyone. Let's get to some of these chats, though. We got Eagle Slayer in the building. How you doing, my man? Hope all is well. We got Bo Brew. We got the Observer. What's going on, my man? We got the Eagles. We got the Eagles Uncensored podcast. What's up, my man? Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's doing good. Ryan Rowe, my man, what's going on? How you feeling? Cal Bundy, what's up? He says, I think the Sixers need to move the ball like Golden State Warriors. Absolutely. Great point. I'm glad you brought that up, Cal, because I was talking about that yesterday. If you guys were tuning into the live stream yesterday, like I told you guys, we're going to be doing daily live streams every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It really helps the content grow. It helps the live chat get more spicy, get more interactive. And, I would really appreciate you guys for most definitely being engaged. It really helps the content grow. But Cal Bundy said something very important. He said, I think the Sixers need to move the ball like Golden State. I'll take it a step further. I think the Sixers need to move off ball like Golden State. If you look at the way the Golden State Warriors have been playing since Steph Curry's arrival, they are one of the best off-ball teams in the league. Their players are conditioned to never stop moving off ball. No one gets caught ball watching when they're playing with Steph Curry, ever. No one. Pay attention. Everyone is constantly floating and rotating and cutting and, flaring and, running baseline. You see so many different guys doing different things because they want you to understand that this is a flowing and a potent offense. Doc Rivers needs to take a page out of Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr's book, that this team, the Golden State Warriors, your team can be more potent if everyone is a threat. If you give the defense multiple things to account for, your team is dangerous. Let's call it what it is. The Golden State Warriors have won 3 championships because of why. They give you so many things to worry about. And they don't have any true defensive stoppers outside of Draymond Green and formerly Klay Thompson when he was at his peak on defense on the perimeter. But they don't have any legit defensive juggernauts outside of Draymond Green. But what they do well is play team defense. Team defense is tremendous on Golden State. So the Sixers need to do better when it comes to team defense. They need to assert themselves, especially the bench guys, because the narrative is always the Sixers don't have a bench. And I can understand why people say that. The numbers indicate we don't have a bench. Guys aren't running downhill. Guys aren't being aggressive. You know what I mean? That's why we don't have a bench. And like I mentioned to you guys yesterday on the live stream, Talk It Up Sports Daily, we need to be aggressive on the boards. We can't allow teams to get extra possession. Those are gut punches. Those are transition killers. When you allow a team to constantly get second chance, third chance points, really. But I'm really glad this Sixers team showed up against the Miami Heat. They did an amazing job. It was actually it was a nail biter. I give you that. But Tyrese Maxey, look, let's talk about this part. Because eventually we're going to transition away from the Sixers and start talking about football, right? Tyrese Maxey, and y'all tell me, Tyrese Maxey took his game to another level in those final few minutes, right? Like you guys think so, right? I mean, he did something that we didn't necessarily expect. I'm not saying we don't think Tyrese Maxey can ball out, but the moment wasn't too big for him. The opponent wasn't too gritty for him. He was playing confidently. And I know you guys can say the same. Tyrese Maxey needs to assert himself in this offense. He needs to be one of the leading scorers on his team. Cal Bundy said Tyrese looked like Agent Zero at the end of that game. Great comparison. That's a pretty good comparison. Like he clearly took over. And it's so funny because Tyrese Maxey doesn't really have the demeanor where you would say he has a killer mentality. Tyrese Maxey is a very happy-go-lucky guy, always smiling, always cheesing. Never ever seems to have a bad day, right? He's like a walking ball of sunshine. That's just who he is. But he turned into a demon last night. That step back three, spectacular. That three he shot damn near half court. He was about 2 or 3. He was about three feet away from the 3-point line. That was a heat check. And then to close the game out. On top of that, he had the and one. Let's not forget that. And then to close the game out, had a huge block after we turned the ball over. Sixers were only up by 6 points. That could change everything. That block was crazy. Crazy. But yeah, like I said, this was a key victory over a top contender in the East, the Miami Heat. They're the number 1 seed. And we need to show that we can beat teams like this. We can compete. We can beat anybody if everyone shows up, and if everyone understands their role and is not afraid to assert themselves. Don't be afraid to assert yourself. Just because James Harden is here doesn't mean you have to assert yourself any less. Be aggressive. Take opportunities. Like I said, this team has a habit of getting caught ball watching two-man game between James Harden and Joel Embiid. I understand it's potent, but when guys aren't cutting, when they aren't making themselves available on offense, we get stagnant. And then now no one is in the flow. No one is able to make buckets because they're not, they didn't heat up. You know what I mean? I feel like things need to flow like this. We need to get Joel Embiid going first, and then feed Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris, and James Harden is going to get his points. James Harden really wants to facilitate and wants everyone else to score, and he wants to get his buckets when he needs to. He really wants to be a true point guard. That's what he really wants to do. He's a very smart basketball player, but there are going to be moments when James Harden needs to take over and not look for the foul. Just take over, assert yourself. Guys on the bench, Niang, Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz. Those guys need to assert themselves. Niang is fearless. They need to take on Niang's personality. I'm shooting this bucket no matter who in front of me. Shake Milton needs to play more downhill. Needs to attack. I love the way he attacks the basket. Needs to finish a little better at the rim. Not a stellar three-point shooter, but can make them occasionally. Furkan Korkmaz needed this game to get his confidence back. He needed to earn the respect of his teammates again. So overall, great win for the Sixers. Great win. I would love for them to give the young guys some more playing time, like Charles Bassey. Charles Bassey is an athlete, a guy who wants to jump out of the gym, a guy that you can run in transition with. I would love for Doc Rivers to give him more opportunities, but I don't understand why Doc Rivers refuses to play the young guys. They're not going to get any better sitting on the bench and watching. You got to put them in. You got to trust them. Straight like that, man. But let's transition away from the Sixers. Let's talk about some football. Let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles, Philly, because our offseason hasn't really been the most spectacular. The offseason hasn't really been anything to write home about, because it seems as though Howie Roseman is either afraid to spend the money or afraid to take a risk. Or guys just don't want our money. It's one of those three things. Howie won't spend the money, Howie may be afraid to take a risk, or guys just don't want to play here and don't want to take our money. You know what I mean? But yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles did sign a wide receiver, Zach Pascal, former Colts wide receiver, and signed him to a one-year deal. And by no stretch of their imagination is that a stellar signing. By no stretch of their imagination is that signing a backbreaker, right? Or is it a home run? And not in any shape, way, or form. But it does add more depth to the wide receiver room. It does add more competition. It does put guys like Jalen Reagor and J.J. Whiteside on notice. And again, it's a one-year deal. They can cut ties with him at any point in training camp. In my humble opinion, he's an extra body in training camp, and he's going to compete. But here's the thing about Zach Pascal that separates him from the wide receivers that we normally play with, guys like Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins. Here's the one thing that separates Zach Pascal. And you guys tell me if you agree or not. He's a bigger body. Zach Pascal was like 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220 pounds. He's a big body wide receiver, a physical wide receiver, a possession guy. Something that we've lacked. Now, he's not the most stellar route runner. He's not the most dominant athlete, and no one really thinks he's a number 2, more so a number 3. But he's fairly young. He's only about 26 years old, I believe. And you guys let me know as well, is how old is Zach Pascal? Tell me in the live chat. I need to know how old Zach Pascal is. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button as well. Really appreciate that. Do not forget to hit that like button when you come in. The like button really helps you guys. Hit that like button. And also on the way out, if you guys are checking out other live streams on YouTube, hit the like button on your way out. I really appreciate that. But, Zach Pascal, the new wide receiver for the Eagles that they signed yesterday to a 1-year deal. How old is he? Because maybe this is his opportunity to break out in Philadelphia. Maybe. Now, he hasn't really been the best wide receiver on the Colts since about 2019. I think in 2019 he was up their second best wide receiver. That was when they had I think Jacoby Brissett, and he had a decent season with Phillip Rivers, but he couldn't really break out with Carson Wentz for some reason. Now I think it was because they ran the ball a lot. Jonathan Taylor just took over. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor, man, stand-up guy. Cal Bundy, 27. Okay, thank you, Cal. Thank you. So Zach Pascal was 27. He was a late bloomer too. He was undrafted, so he had to fight tooth and nail to even get a look in his NFL. I respect that. I respect that about Zach Pascal. You see, I respect the grind. I respect the blood, sweat, and tears guys put in to get where they need to be. Hard work beats talent any day of the week for me. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you ain't working out, if you ain't trying to hone it, if you ain't trying to maximize it, then what good are you? You're a liability at that point. But guys that work hard, I can get behind that. What do you guys think, though? Does hard work always beat talent for you? Or there are just moments where talent just is no matter what? Some guys are just more talented no matter how hard people work. But Zach Pascal, a very physical wide receiver. They say he's a great run blocker, which is something I don't really care about because we need wide receivers that's going to catch the ball, right? But they say he's extremely physical, hard worker, a lunch pail kind of guy. And that's why Nick Sirianni loves him. Because Nick Sirianni understands the value of hard work. He understands that there's a trust level there. Nick Sirianni loves Zach Pascal, apparently. He actually said, if my son was to ever be a wide receiver or whatever it may be, I would want him to play with the same intensity as Zach Pascal. And I looked up some of Zach Pascal's film. He makes plays. But what is he a difference maker? I don't know. What do you guys think Zach Pascal? How do you guys think he'll perform in this Eagles offense? Because right now our offense is tailored to be run first. And I'm personally expecting Jalen Hurts to take the next step because he has no choice. But if you want him to take the next step, you're going to have to surround him with more talent, right? Jalen Hurts is one of 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, a very tough position to be in. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the world because he's playing in the best football league in the world, because he's one of 32. You feel what I'm saying? So if Jalen Hurts is going to improve, if he's going to take his game to another level, we have to essentially make that possible for him. Howie Roseman has to make that possible. And Howie Roseman hasn't been very aggressive in free agency. I don't really know why, though. Like I said, is he afraid to spend the money? Now, look, let's give credit where credit's due. He was trying to get Calvin Ridley. I'll give him that. But that sense is long gone. Calvin Ridley is serving a suspension for illegal sports betting, being an NFL player. And look, I'm not judging Calvin Ridley. He made a mistake. He should know better. But I'm not gonna come at that man character. He made an ill-advised decision. But Howie Roseman, what is your plan coming into the 2022 season? Is this going to be a slow rebuild? Because I'm looking at these teams in the AFC who are in the arms race right now. Teams that are in the AFC West, the AFC North. It's an arms race. You think about the NFC, not loaded in any way. Your top three quarterbacks are Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Matthew Stafford. After that, it's a toss-up any given Sunday. You think about the AFC, though, you got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Matt Ryan is over there now. You know what I mean? A lot of talent over there. A lot of teams that can win it all. Who else is over there? You got Tua over there. You got Mitchell Trubisky over there. A lot of talent. Russell Wilson. Can't forget Russell Wilson. Oh, my God. So this is going to be interesting to see how Howie Roseman competes with these other teams. Now, obviously, we're only concerned about the NFC as of right now because that's our immediate competition. That's who we're going to have to face in the playoffs if we're going to get to a Super Bowl. And the path does have lesser resistance in the NFC. I will say that. But at some point, Howie Roseman has to make a splash, has to make a move. And if I'm being honest with myself, you guys tell me what y'all think about free agency. Because if I'm being honest with myself, this is one of the most lackluster free agencies we've ever experienced. We thought last year was bad, and we was broke. We was broke last year, and this year we actually got some money, and we ain't doing much with it. Now look, I'll give Howie credit where credit is due when it comes to this. Howie Roseman has, always played free agency in full. What I mean by that is he's always made moves in March, April, May, June. He doesn't always jump on the first wave of free agency, but most of the talent is gone. Most of the legit talent in free agency is gone already. I mean, you got guys like Julio Jones who's still available, Bobby Wagner, Zadarius Smith, Jarvis Landry, Tyrann Mathieu, Landon Collins, Trey Waynes, Stephon Gilmore, Calais Campbell, Jason Pierre-Paul, Akeem Hicks, Joe Hayden, Jerry Hughes, Joe Sherbert. There's some quality talent in free agency. But we have to make a move that we can respect, a move that we can get behind. Cal Bundy says if he don't drop the ball when it comes his way, we're good forever. Man, I feel you. But there's something to be said about Howie Roseman's passing. Is he up to something? What is he scheming? Because we got 3 first-round picks. And let me tell you guys this, if you haven't already known. The Eagles are clearly depending on the NFL draft to flip the script. And it's hard to put that much trust in rookies so soon. Now, every now and again, you have outliers in the NFL drafts who make an immediate impact. Guys like Jalen Ramsey, who made an immediate impact for the Jacksonville Jaguars when he got drafted. Micah Parsons, who made an immediate impact for the Cowboys. Not many guys make an immediate impact. It's just not the case. They have to learn the league. They have to learn the playbook. They have to learn technique as it pertains to the NFL level. They have to get used to the physicality of the big leagues. There's a learning curve. There's an adjustment period. Jamar Chase, he came out and he was an outlier, immediately acclimated to the NFL, especially when people started to give up on him in preseason. Immediately got acclimated. Took nothing. But all I know is Howie Roseman, we are paying very, very close attention to the moves that you're making. We're also paying close attention to the moves that you're not making, not bringing in a veteran wide receiver. Pascal has been in the NFL for 4 years. He's not really a veteran. He's another Greg Ward type. Greg Ward's been in the NFL for what, 4 or 5 years now, something like that. Something like that. But we need a legit veteran, someone who's been in the league 6, 7, 8 years that can show these guys the lay of the land, show these guys how to be better pros. Someone that can challenge these guys in the wide receiver room. I'm not worried about Devontae Smith. He gonna always do his thing. He gonna always do his thing. But Howie Roseman is dependent on the NFL draft. Tell me what y'all think, though. Do y'all think Howie Roseman is going to nail this draft? Let me know, because I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned. I'm trying to be patient, though. That's the hard part about all this. Being patient. Understanding that good things come to those that wait. You know? But, like I said, this draft is interesting because Howie Roseman sent quarterback coach Brian Johnson to Kenny Pickett's pro day. And Brian Johnson had dinner with Kenny Pickett, the quarterback from Pitt. So that begs the question, will the Philadelphia Eagles draft a quarterback in the first round? What do you guys think? I personally would not want a quarterback, because why would we reset the quarterback growing period? Why? Cal Bundy says, nah, bro, they got rid of Travis Fulgham just to sign him again. Just sign a Pascal type. And I hope Howie do something good in the draft, though. Yeah, man. Travis Fulgham apparently got picked up by the Denver Broncos, so he has an opportunity. He has an opportunity to actually revitalize his career again, but who knows, right? But I think if we do draft a quarterback, it can't be in the first round. It got to be like in the fourth, fifth round, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But let me ask you guys this: who do you trust more? I got a question for you guys. Let's make it interesting. Who do you guys trust more, Howie Roseman or Nick Sirianni? And before you answer, both of these guys haven't done the most to truly garner your full trust. But who do you trust unequivocally? Who do you trust? Hmm? I think if I had to really answer that question, I would say it's tough. It's tough. I got to be honest. It's tough. But today, if I had to choose who do I trust more, I trust Nick Sirianni more. Why? Because the players respond to him. So I trust Nick Sirianni to do his job to the best of his ability. Howie Roseman, not so much. Not so much. You see, Nick Sirianni doesn't strike me as a type of person, and this is where you gotta be. This is where you gotta be very, very, very conscious. You gotta be careful when people move off of ego. Nick Sirianni doesn't strike me as the type of man to move off of ego, make decisions based off of ego. But Howie Roseman, on the other hand, he strikes me as someone who would make a decision off of ego. Because if you ask me, Howie Roseman has habitually wanted to be seen as the reason why. Y'all following me here? Let's think about the Doug Peterson era. They felt like they made him. Howie Roseman felt like, I built this Super Bowl team. I made you as a coach. Nobody was looking at you. Nobody wanted to hire you. I'm the reason you got your job in Jacksonville. You feel what I'm saying? So Howie Roseman strikes me as a very egotistical guy, but you got to pay attention to his type. He's very slick. He comes off very OG, very all shucks. He comes off very aloof at times, but you got to watch him. He's a very, very arrogant individual. Very. It's easy to be arrogant when you get a 3-year extension for doing absolutely nothing. He hasn't done anything spectacular this offseason. His drafting has always been questionable for the most part. So how much trust can we put into him? How much stock can we put into him? Nick Sirianni, on the other hand, came in, did the most with less, brought the team to the playoffs his first season as a head coach. I gotta respect that. Now, that's the floor for you. You were able to bring a team built like this to the playoffs. Now I need to know, what can you do with more? What can you do with more? Can you win 10-plus games? Can you win the division? You gotta battle Dak Prescott. You gotta battle Carson Wentz. It's not gonna be smooth sailing, I'll tell you that much. Jalen Hurts has to be great. I trust him to be great under Nick Sirianni's tutelage. Now the question is, how great? How good can he be? Will Howie Roseman make the necessary moves to help Jalen Hurts be a productive quarterback in his NFL? It's a lot to think about. Cal Bundy says, I trust Howie more. Gotta get, he said, the check gotta get active, man. Come on, y'all. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. I know some people probably working. Some people probably driving. So I respect everybody, hustle. Some people probably listening to that work. They can't really get too active. But I feel you, Cal. They gotta speak their piece. I'm with you on that. The chat gotta get active. Also, I want you guys to tell me, how can we get the chat more active? Put your opinions down below. What can I do as the curator of this show to make the chat more fun for you guys? What can I do to make it more active? Please let me know. I'm here for it. Trust and believe I'm here for it. So let me know. I take all criticism, good and bad. Eagle Slayer says, it's hard to say, but I roll with Howie, which ain't saying much. You're right. It ain't saying much. Especially with the cap and the trades he pulls off from time to time. That's fair enough. Howie Roseman is a cap wizard. I'll give him credit where credit is due. Howie Roseman has a habit of manipulating the cap like no one's business. He makes cap hell seem non-existent. Somehow, some way, he managed to flip Carson Wentz for a first-round pick. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Cal says, I would have waited. I would have waited until after the draft to sign Howie, so he could have made the best picks and signed the top free agents. Absolutely. You don't give that man his money before he got the job done. I'm the type of guy, half now, half later. You dig? You can't pay that man before he did anything. What did that man do between now and the beginning of the season to make this team any better? Okay, he signed Hassan Reddick. Okay. But that was it. And this is no slight on Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick is going to ball for us. I believe that wholeheartedly. But what has he done? Huh? What has he done spectacular? What has he done that's been outstanding? What has he done that's made us go, whoa, okay, Howie? I did. The Hassan Reddick signing made us go like that. But what else? What else are you going to do? You have the cap flexibility. You have the money. You have to make a move. You have to assert yourself in free agency. You have to sell these players on coming to Philadelphia. You have to sell Jalen Hurts like he's the next, like he's about to break out. And I trust Jalen Hurts' work ethic. Now he's been rehabbing his ankle, I believe, so he hasn't been able to really get on the field, right? But it's a long off season, and if we know Jalen Hurts like we know him, he's probably been consuming so much film it's ridiculous. I expect him to be a smarter quarterback. I expect him to be a more intuitive quarterback. I expect him to be so much more productive pre-snap. 60%, 70% of the quarterback's job gets taken care of in the pre-snap. You know what I mean? Tell me, do you guys agree? Like, tell me, do you guys agree on this? What's more important to a quarterback's success? His pre-snap reads or post-snap reads? I would say pre-snap. Think about a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, all those top-tier quarterbacks. They know where they're going with the ball before they even let it go. What do you guys think is more important? Both of them are important. Let's not get it twisted. Pre-snap reads and post-snap reads are important because things break down. Things change after you hike that ball. Things aren't always what they seem, right? It's important to be able to adapt on the fly. But pre-snap is where Jalen Hurts has struggled, in my opinion. Understanding what's in front of him, and then using that to help in the post-snap. If he can improve in those areas, which I believe he can, then the sky is the limit for this young man. Because you win the quarterback position is one up here more than it is with these. The quarterback position is one up here more than anything. Cal Bundy says, I agree with pre-snap. Benjamin Allen says, yeah, pre-snap, because if you see the blitz coming, the next read is your hot player. See? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I rock with y'all. Or the check down read. Exactly, Ben. This is why I rock with y'all, because y'all are logical about this. Y'all approach the game from a very straightforward perspective. And you guys hold people accountable. Pre-snap is so important. 70% of the quarterback's job is won in the pre-snap. And then you make adjustments after snap if you got to, if things aren't what they seem. You win the game up here. Why do you think Tom Brady's been playing this long, outside of just being healthy? He's won the game up here. This is where he wins. This is where he breaks opponents down. Jalen Hurts is a very smart young man. He's an amazing athlete. And I feel like he can be a very, very good quarterback in the NFL. Is he Super Bowl caliber? Is he franchise level? We don't know that yet. It all remains to be seen. But if Jalen Hurts can improve in the areas that we are discussing right now, the pre-snap, throwing with anticipation, throwing guys open, throwing to spots. If he can improve in that regard, Jalen Hurts will be unstoppable because you have to account for his athleticism and his accuracy. You know, a lot of people didn't believe in Lamar Jackson when he came into the NFL. They thought he would only be a running quarterback. And yes, he runs a lot. That's his style. But he has an arm. And he's more accurate than people give him credit for. He has a little sidearm throw. You know, he's not the most talented thrower of football, but his improvement from year 1 to year 2 and year 2 to year 3 was spectacular. Became so much better as a thrower. You got to give credit where credit is due. Jalen Hurts needs to sharpen up his skill set, sharpen up his toolbox at the quarterback position. He will be okay. He will improve. The question will always be how much. Benjamin Allen says, do you think Nick's going to give him the keys with the plays at the line and calling audibles? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And the question will always be, can Jalen Hurts handle the responsibility? I'm not saying he's afraid of the responsibility, but can he handle it? Will he make the right decisions? You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying he strays away from responsibility, but can he handle it? Being given the keys to the offense. Do you guys think he's earned that? Very good topic. Very good topic. Do you guys think Jalen Hurts has earned the keys to the offense? Let me know in the live chat. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button. It really helps the content grow. If you guys are new to my content, super grateful for you being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The content is always going to keep flowing. I'm giving you guys daily sports talk. Talk It Up Sports Daily at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, every single day, Monday through Friday. On top of that, I give you guys videos, 5 to 6 minute videos, 4 to 6 minute videos, you know what I mean? Sometimes I give you guys the 8-minute video if I'm passionate, if I got to get things off my chest. Depends on the topic. But make sure you guys hit that like button. I'm always feeding you guys. The meals, listen, this stove always gonna stay hot. You feel what I'm saying? The oven ain't never going off. We sending this content out like hotcakes. So, very good topic that Benjamin Allen brought up. Has Jalen Hurts earned the right to the keys to the offense? Eagle Slayer says he's definitely earned it for at least this year. Okay. All right. Can he keep the keys then? Let's take it a step further. Eagle Slayer says he's earned the keys for this year. Can he keep the keys? Let's move it further. Can he keep the keys? What are our expectations for Jalen Hurts? He's a second round. Let's talk about his narrative. Started out at Alabama, lost his job, always competed, but lost his job. Went to Oklahoma to give himself a better chance of getting drafted. Was a runner-up for the Heisman. Drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the second round. Played 4 games his rookie season. Went 1-3. Became the starting quarterback for this past season. The team went 9-8 in the 17-game season. He went 8-7. He only played 15 games. Missed one because of injury against the Jets, and didn't play against the Cowboys the final season. Final game of the season, excuse me. Had a playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and struggled tremendously. But he had good games this past season, right? His best games, in my opinion, were the Denver Broncos game, the Saints game, obviously the Detroit game, but that's not saying much. But his 2 best games of the season were the Denver Broncos game and the Saints game. And if I had to give him one more game that I felt like he played well enough to win, I'd probably give him that Chiefs game. He played well enough to win. We just couldn't stop their offense. Benjamin Allen says, "Player, you're right. I can live with that." Okay. Well, like I said, we got 7 people in the live chat. I need to hear y'all thoughts. Can he keep the keys? Right? Because the pressure is going to be raised exponentially. Exponentially. Can Jalen Hurts maintain the respect of his peers? Can he maintain control of his offense? Can he take his game to another level? Cal Bundy says if Jalen works on his left and timing, he might be in the top 10 of quarterbacks next season. I would agree with you that he has to improve on going left. Teams force him left, and he kind of He loses accuracy. He loses effectiveness. He's not as potent as a weapon. But he has to get better with his timing. You're absolutely right. Because there are so many times where he's had wide receivers beat the opponent on the deep ball, but he threw it either too late or too early. Most of the time, it was too late. See, he waits for them to get open instead of throwing the ball, instead of throwing them open. You get what I'm saying? That's the issue, right? That's the constant. If we're being honest with ourselves, Jalen Hurts' deficiencies aren't really that drastic. His shortcomings are fixable. People get on him about his arm strength. It's not about arm strength. I've seen him make some throws in some tight quarters. It's not about arm strength. Arm strength when it comes to Jalen Hurts. It's not. It's just not. It's about timing, anticipation, instincts, feel. He can sharpen those things through experience, through reps. But how much can he improve? Will always be the question. Benjamin Allen says he doesn't trust they will be there when he threw the ball, so he hesitated a lot. He did that in a lot of games. That's a very good point you brought up, Benjamin. That's a very good point. Benjamin says he doesn't trust that his wide receivers will be there when he throws the ball, so he hesitates a lot in the game. You're right. I can understand that. Not too many wide receivers you could trust on this Eagles team, right? You can't put any trust in Jalen Reagor right now. Jalen Hurts gave him the utmost trust in that Giants game. Threw the ball to him twice. The dude failed. That's just the reality. This isn't no shade on Jalen Reagor. I don't have any ill will to Jalen Reagor. I want him to be one of the best. I want him to do well. But he can't be trusted right now. That's just the honest truth. He hasn't earned the trust of his quarterback or of his coaches. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, same thing. He hasn't earned the trust of his teammates, his coaches, his quarterback. Hasn't earned their trust. So no wonder Jalen Hurts hesitates on certain throws. The only wide receiver, the only guys he trusts on that field are Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. I feel like Dallas Goedert is going to have a breakout year. I feel like Devontae Smith is going to take his game to another level. But their game, their success is solely contingent on Jalen Hurts taking his game to another level. And that's the biggest question of them all. Cal Bunny says, right. And when you wait too long, it makes it look like you got a weak arm. Absolutely. When you don't throw the ball with enough anticipation, it seems like you're weak. But we know that's not the case. Remember that back shoulder throw he threw to Greg Ward in that Washington game? That back shoulder throw, right on the pylon. That was a beautiful throw. Remember that throw he threw to Greg Ward on that 3rd and 14? Beautiful throw. He can fit it in some tight quarters. Remember that touchdown he threw to Dallas Goedert in the Atlanta Falcons season opener? Tight quarters, touchdown. He can fit it. He can fit the key in the keyhole. He can fit the pill in the keyhole. That's not the issue. But he has to throw in anticipation. That's all. You know? And he'll get there. He'll get there. The Observer says timing, seeing the entire field, trusting his own line and developing routes so his eyes stay downfield. I know the guy who coached DJ Moore in high school. He said he'll be ready by year 3. Okay. I hope so. He has no choice but to be great. Has no choice. Joey Shake says quiet free agency. They are lucky to get it. They're lucky to get Reddick. Then with Pickett, it seems to make more sense that they could draft a quarterback. Not being too aggressive. Something is going on. Absolutely. Great point, Joey. Great point. And I appreciate the love, Joey. Shout out to my man Joey Shakes, man. He does live streams damn near every day for free agency. He's killing it right now, as always. Been doing this content game for several years. Real dope dude, real genuine dude. I appreciate his love. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. You know, but like I told you guys, Chalk It Up Sports Daily is here to stay. I'm giving you guys daily doses of content every day, Monday through Friday. Chalk It Up Sports Daily is coming at YouTube, coming at you. 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Chalk It Up Sports Daily, Monday through Friday. Lock in with the boy. I'm here. I want more to smoke. I want more opinions. I want more hot takes from you guys. I want you guys to continue to hit that like button. I want you guys to continue to hold me accountable, hold the other people in the chat accountable. Spill your guts in this live chat because there's so much to discuss about this Philadelphia Eagles team. There's so much to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. There's so much to discuss when it comes to the NFL and NBA landscape, good and bad, and indifferent. Chalk It Up Sports Daily, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. And I'm still giving y'all videos on top of that. Lock in with your boy. The content is immaculate. We're going to continue to give you guys that fire content for sure. But we've been in here for an hour, and the show has unfortunately come to an end. So I will see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, March 23rd. Chalk It Up Sports Daily, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Smash that like button. Put the notification bell on so you know exactly what's going on. And we're going to talk about so much more, you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. And if y'all just hopping into the live stream, sorry, but the show is coming to an end. If you guys want longer sports talk, hey, listen, man, we're going to need some more people in this chat. You know what I mean? We're going to need the chat to get more spicy. If we're going to have these live streams go longer than an hour. So I'm putting the onus on you guys. You know what I mean? The more you guys give, the more you shall receive. And the more I give, the more you guys will receive. It's all love with me at Chalk It Up Sports. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got charges to the game. I'm your humble host, Tony DeShields II. Stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And we out of here.